Well, maybe you're like me and you got a bunch of Pelican cases to carry around a lot of your radio and accessories and things that, you know, you don't want to get beat up out in the field. Well, you know, I'm a lot like you. I've got a number of Harbor Freight cases, and, you know, in the Harbor Freight, they provide you the foam. Well, as we all know, the pick and pluck type foam, it just ain't cutting the mustard. You know, I found that, you know, my radios get a little bit more banged up with this stuff, so I got tired of it and decided to go a different route. Well, I picked up Kaizen Foam. I am a big tool guy, and my tools are very well organized, and I use a foam company called Kaizen Foam, and I just found out that they just had made available on their website custom fitted foam for the Harbor Freight cases. So we're going to take a couple of my cases and we're going to fit it with the foam. Let's head over to the bench. All right, we're over here on the bench, and I've got my Harbor Freight 3800 case here. This happens to be just my live streaming equipment, but to my right here, I've got a Kaizen cut kit. Now, I'm going to go into this in a second, but before, like, I'm really super tired of, if you go into my case here, you know, the foam is just kind of subpar. It doesn't really hold a lot. You know, things move and shift around here, as we can tell, you know, when the box gets dropped or whatever, and it's just, you know, not cutting the mustard. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take and chuck this, and we're going to use a custom cut foam mold that is provided by Kaizen Source. Great company. I'll leave a link in the description below, and you can pick these up. But they now finally make custom fitted foam for all of the Harbor Freight cases, from the small 2800 all the way up to the very large gun case. And as you can see, this foam is very well made, laser cut, glued, and you can get it colored. In this case, I got it black top with a green insert, so I can easily identify my box if it's not labeled in this case, that, you know, anything that's in this green case is going to be specifically for my streaming stuff. So we're going to dive into it. So my goal is to just reorganize all of these cables. I got my streaming equipment here, my PTZ cameras, my external battery, and a bunch of these brackets and stands and tripods. And we're just going to get rid of all of this foam here. I'll throw it off to the side because good riddance. So we're going to dive back into this in a second, but I want to show you the kit. Now, when you buy this foam, you can obviously use whatever tools you want to cut it, but I highly recommend spending the extra money to buy their cutting kit. And so if we look at their case here, nice, well-formed shaped case, they give you everything you need to be able to professionally cut your foam and trace around your objects, and, you know, cut finger holes and stuff like that. So, like, they give you all the different knives. So you get different blade types, thick blades, thin blades, longer handle blades, and all of the sundry additional spares you might need. They give you the pens. These are, you know, gold, silver, and black. So it doesn't really matter what color foam you're cutting on or what you're tracing on. So if you're tracing on a green or you're tracing on black, you can use a silver pen to outline the object. And, you know, all of them are there. These are both fine tip and large tip, so you can make good quick work of outlining your objects. And then, like I said, there is a finger punch hole here. So this is a wicked sharp tool, and I'll show you how I put the finger holes in there. So instead of you having to try to, you know, work around the foam, you now have a little finger release that you can just pop up, and lo and behold, you know, you can pull out the radio, pull out, you know, wires or cables or screens or whatever you've got in the custom fitted foam. So we're going to put this aside here. here, and we're going to take a look at my custom foam for this 3800. So this, just real quick, this is the Apache 3800 case. This is not a Pelican. This is Harbor Freight, tried and true. And we're going to go in, and what you can do is you can order this foam any which way you kind of like it. So I ordered this case with a bottom layer, a cover lid layer, and then a main layer in the middle. And so you'll find that if I just put this aside here and I take this as the bottom layer and I push it in here, you'll see that the fit is definitely tight. It's going to be very, very clean and strong, and there's nothing to be shifting. And then this is the lid, and they so eloquently labeled it lid, so I can't screw it up. I'm just going to tuck that in here. And then this is the main kind of piece of foam that I'm going to put, several of the pieces of equipment over here to my left in. But you'll see that I can actually multi-layer this. So like if I wanted to install objects or put things in this first layer and then create like kind of pockets on the side, I could pull this out as a tray, and then there's my second layer. So it's really, really versatile, and it's really, really strong. I mean, this stuff is not going to bend. It's not going to flex. It's not going to fall apart. It's like very well glued and constructed and cut, very professionally. So you're not going to, get a subpar piece of foam here. And for rough numbers, I'll go over that at the very end in terms of what I paid for this and a larger 4800 case foam. But it's very reasonable, and obviously the only expense up front, if you don't already have it, would be the cut kit. But this is, what we're going to do here. So I'm going to walk you through the cut of my streaming case here and show you a little bit how I do it and how I align the objects and get everything cut and installed to the box here. And I'm going to show you a little bit, and I'm not going to run through all of the details and bore you to death, but let's just say, I'm going to set this up a little bit. And so the nice part about this tool is that I can sit here and set it up kind of in the way I'd like to see it be, organized. So I can say, hey, I want my camera this way, and I want these parts I can mount up into the lid here and stick them nice and tight because they'll fit up into the lid section. And then if I want to put my cables here, I can take the bottom section out and hollow that out, so I'll have storage for my cables underneath, so everything looks very clean, very professional. And so all you really do is you just take out the kit, and in this case I'll just grab a pen, and I will then, just based off the position here, I'll start to trace around. And you're just going to trace the object as best as you can, and you obviously want to be a little tight, but you don't want to be super tight where you're going to have to trim a little bit off. And then I'm just going to put that here off to the side. All I do is just take out one of the knives here. You can tell this is a super fine knife, typical knife here. And so all you're going to do is just basically trace the cutout, and knowing the thickness of the foam, and let me show you real quick what I mean by that, is that's the key. So this is your depth here. So this is a thicker, stronger, denser foam, as well as this layer here, but this layer cell wise is a little easier to cut through. And so as I'm cutting down through the knife, I'm usually kind of setting the depth here to match that I don't actually cut through the next layer, because that's not what I'm tending to do. And so just feed this back in here, and I'm just gonna cut the lines here. And this is where a really sharp tool, a knife blade, is important in making this happen. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get your thumb in here, and you're gonna pull this foam back, like you're gonna peel it back, and as you kind of pull, you'll see that the layers of foam will start to come off and come out to form the hole. And because this is multi-layer, you're going to see how it's a little chunky here, because that's based off of how I cut the foam itself and how far I went down in order to make sure I didn't pierce through the other layer. But, you know, like I said, you'll eventually just keep trimming and getting to a flat layer here. So your foam is all uniform all the way down to the bottom to whatever depth you're looking for. And we'll just keep trimming here. And pull this back a little bit more here. And there we go for that. And so stick this off to the side. And so, like I said, you know, we've got this fit, and of course, because of the depth here, all I have to do is just basically trim this down a little bit more here to fit exactly what I'm going to stick in here. It's kind of therapeutic, you know, as you kind of pull on it. So as you see here, I've already gotten down to that black layer, so I know I need to stop. And there we go. So there's the screen. It is fitting super flush. Now, what I do here is use this hole punch here. And so what I want to do is based off of where I want to grab it. I don't want to do this side. I want to do more of on the thicker side of the foam. So all I'm going to do is pull the cork, and I'm going to create a thumb hole. So I'm just going to pull this out, twist it, and pull it away. And there we go. There's that old foam here. Pull it out of the tube. And now I've got a finger hole to grab this and pull it back out, put it back in, and it is sitting super flush. It's not going to move. You don't see any of the pick and pull stuff starting to fray or come apart or separate. This foam is going to stay this way for as long as I have the case, you know, unless I get, you know, this gets really abused and beat up, which, you know, it will over time. But in terms of the quality and it lasting forever, this is going to outlast probably the case before, you know, you have to really consider replacing it. And the benefit to this is that I don't have to replace a whole entire foam set. I can just go back up to Kaizen Source, order this top layer, and then when that comes in, I'll just basically plop it back in, cut out my spaces again, and I'm off to the races, and everything's good. As I was saying here too, I can add, if I wanted to add a pull here, what I can do is grab my finger pulls here, and we're gonna go drop a hole here and drop another hole here, and these will be my finger pulls here for being able to pull the layer from bottom here up. So I can just go pop these out like so. And now I've got two finger pulls that I can pop this back in, pull this out, and I've got a second section now I can actually cut out and put in my cables, whatever I want, and all of it just is very much organized in a tray, and you know, it works wonderfully. And so I can do the same thing for the top here too. If I just pull this out, this top layer I can take, and I've got some thickness here as well. I can easily trace these out and fit these super tight into the system, the foam system itself, and they'll stay up in the upper lid and they won't fall out because the foam itself has got a little bit of a grip texture to it, and because these already have some grip and, you know, the way they're shaped, these things will stay up in that lid no problem, and they'll mount literally like this. And so that's Kaizen Foam. You know, if you are in the same boat, like I said, where you're tired of your foam just failing on you and you want something more professional and you want to take this out in the field and wow other guys that are, you know, running similar boxes here and find that, you know, everything's all in a nice neat tray. This is the benefits. Like, I can have smaller radios and other cables here on this level, and then I can have like my digital stuff down here or CW stuff down here, and I'm just pulling it out, setting it off to the side, and everything stays protected, so if it gets bumped or whatever, nothing's going to break. And then when I'm done and I want to put it all away, slide it right in the box, close the lid. Well, there you have it. That's Kaizen Foam. Like I said, love the stuff. I'm outfitting everything I have with this and getting rid of that crappy, you know, kind of cheap foam that the Harbor Freight boxes come with. Now, you can always head over to Kaizen Foam. I do not have an affiliate link with them at all. I just want to share this with you because I know there's a lot of guys and folks that struggle with their, go boxes and hard shell cases and trying to keep things safe and protected and not beat up. So you can head over to kaizensource.com. The link will be down in the description below. Head over there. Pick up foam for your Harbor Freight cases and pick up that cutting kit, and I guarantee this will be the best money you've ever spent in being able to make sure your Harbor Freight boxes stay well secure and the equipment in them doesn't get beat up. So as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this. And if you got any questions about Kaizen Source or how and what the kit does or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and 7th